Welcome to the Oregon Department of Education Healthy Schools webinar on the Whole School, Whole Community, Whole Child model. Getting started. First, a few housekeeping items. This webinar is being recorded and will be archived on the training page of the Oregon Department of Education's website. All participants have been muted so that the recording doesn't pick up additional background noise. If you have questions throughout the webinar, you can open the chat box on the right in the control panel and type in your question. You can also raise your hand by clicking the hand button so that one of us will know you've asked a question. We will have 5 minutes at the end of the hour to answer some of your questions. We would like to acknowledge our partners at the National Association of Chronic Disease Directors, NACDD, School Health Project, for sharing their webinar template with us. NACDD provides resources, training, and technical assistance to state health and education agencies. For more information on NACDD, please visit their website at chronicdisease.org.
Oregon Healthy Schools is a joint project between the Department of Education and the Oregon Health Authority Public Health Division. Oregon Healthy Schools uses the Whole School, Whole Community, Whole Child, or WSCC model as a framework to assist schools in creating a healthy and safe learning environment. Oregon Healthy Schools in this webinar is made possible through a cooperative agreement grant from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, to improve student health and academic success through nutrition, physical activity, and the management of chronic conditions. My name is Suzanne Hitty, and I'm the Health and Physical Education Specialist at the Oregon Department of Education. Later, you will hear from Alana and Beth I am joined today by two of my colleagues, my esteemed colleagues, Alana Emlin and Beth Madison. Later, you will hear from Alana and Beth about how they've utilized the WSCC model to improve student health and academic success in their settings. We all know that schools are striving to help students to reach their highest academic potential. In order to achieve this, students need to be academically challenged, as well as healthy, safe, engaged, and supported. Each student enters the classroom with unique needs related to learning and health. When we discuss the term health in this webinar, we are intentionally including not only physical health and safety, but also social and emotional well-being. One of the most challenging tasks for educators is finding a way to reach every student to ensure learning takes place. The WSCC model can help schools take a coordinated approach to help students achieve their full health and academic potential. Objectives for this webinar are that by the end of this presentation, you will be able to 1. Define the WSCC model, 2. Describe the link between learning and health, 3. Recognize the value of using the WSCC model to impact student achievement, and 4. Describe a step-by-step process for implementation of the model.
This presentation is based on the Whole School, Whole Community, Whole Child model, a guide to implementation, developed in 2017 by the National Association of Chronic Disease Directors and funded by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. This resource guide provides a detailed description and step-by-step guidance to adopting and implementing the WSCC model. Let's take a look at the WSCC model. The Whole School, Whole Community, Whole Child model provides a framework that schools can use to create a healthy environment that supports student success. The model is centered on children, our students, and fosters a comprehensive approach to addressing the barriers and supports for learning and health. It calls for a greater collaboration across the school, community, and health sectors to meet the needs and support the potential of each child. Regardless of your role in the school community, we all play a part in the implementation of the WSCC model.
Academic achievement and health are closely linked, and healthy students are more ready and able to learn. Healthy kids learn better. Here are some examples of what research tells us. When students' nutritional and physical activity needs are met, they are able to attain higher academic achievement levels. Providing students access to physical, mental, and oral health care improves attendance, behavior, and achievement. The development of connected and supportive school environments benefits teaching and learning, helps engage students, and enhances positive learning outcomes. And a positive and social emotional climate increases academic achievement, reduces stress, and improves positive attitudes towards oneself and others. Just as health supports academic achievement also improves health. Academic achievement is an excellent indicator of children's overall well-being and a strong predictor and determinant of adult health outcomes. Individuals with more education are likely to live longer, experience better health outcomes, and practice health-promoting behaviors such as exercising regularly and refraining from smoking. These positive outcomes are why many of the nation's leading educational organizations recognize the need to address health and well-being within the educational environment. This slide from Active Living Research is an excellent example of how physical health can impact learning. Active kids learn better. Physical activity is a win-win for students and teachers. Neuroscience research demonstrates that even short bursts of physical activity stimulates the brain and improves focus, retention, and academic success. Physical activity can also improve self-regulation and can be used to lower depression and anxiety.
Administrators, school staff, and their community partners can use the Wisp model as a framework to support efforts to integrate health and wellness into their schools and make an impact on both learning and health outcomes. This is a quote from one of our Oregon Superintendent of the Year recipients, Randy Schill from Tillamook School District. Randy says, school systems have a great range of responsibilities, part of which are teaching reading, writing, and math, but just as important is to teach students to thrive in life. Helping students and staff understand what it means to live a healthy lifestyle with regular exercise and quality nutrition is a critical piece to a school's moral responsibility. Let's provide some historical context on how we came to use the WSCC model. The CDC developed the Coordinated School Health Model in the late 1980s, primarily to encourage schools to take steps to promote health and prevent chronic disease. The Whole Child Initiative was introduced in 2007 by ASCD, a national education membership organization. The Whole Child Initiative is a comprehensive approach that encourages educators, parents, families, and the community to support and prepare children for success in school and life. In time, the education, public health, and school health sectors recognized the need for greater alignment, integration, and collaboration. In response to this call to action, the CDC and ASCD partnered to develop the WSCC model. Let's look at the model more closely. The National Association of Chronic Disease Directors has developed several videos to increase awareness and promote implementation of the WSCC model. This video shows the benefits and impact of the WSCC model on student learning and health. There are other videos that show how the model has been implemented. Those videos can be found at the link on this slide and on the NACDD website.
Now that you have a broad overview of the Wisp model, let's take a closer look. When you look at the Wisp model, you will see the student, the primary focus of the model, at the center. In the green rings surrounding the student are the 5 tenets of the whole child: healthy, safe, engaged, supported, and challenged. These tenets are critical for supporting student academic achievement and health. Think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. As you might recall, this theory states that before we can meet our social and emotional needs, we must first meet our physical needs. The whole child tenets are structured to reflect this. The tenets of healthy and safe provide the foundation for students to be engaged, supported, and challenged. What does each tenet really mean? Healthy means each student will enter school healthy and learn about and practice a healthy lifestyle. Emotionally and physically healthy students do better in school. Safe. Safe means each student learns in an environment that is physically and emotionally safe for students and adults. Students who feel safe concentrate better and are more likely to connect with their teachers and peers. Engaged. Engaged means that each student is actively engaged in learning and feels connected to the school and broader community. Students who feel valued as part of their school community perform better academically. Supported. Supported means each student has access to personalized learning and is supported by qualified, caring adults. Students who have an adult take a personal interest in them are less likely to drop out, engage in negative behavior, and feel isolated. And last but not least, challenged. Challenged means each student is challenged academically and graduates college or career ready. The blue ring shows the 10 components of school health. The 10 components are health education, physical education and physical activity, nutrition, environment and services, health services, counseling, psychological and social services, social and emotional climate, physical environment, employee wellness, family engagement, and community involvement.
For those of you familiar with the coordinated school health model, these components likely appear similar with a few minor changes. The model changed the original component of healthy and safe school environment into 2 components: social and emotional climate and physical environment. This change was made to reflect the difference between the psychosocial and physical environment of the school. Another change in components was splitting family and community involvement into 2 distinct components to emphasize the role of community organizations and businesses, as well as the critical importance of families. And finally, health promotion for staff was changed to employee wellness. The next part of the Wisp model is the white ring between the 5 whole child health tenets and the 10 components. It is the coordination of policies, processes, and practices that helps put this model into action and leads to improved learning and health outcomes. What does this look like? In schools and districts, the model can guide collaboration to address issues such as attendance, behavior, school climate, student health, and academic outcomes. Coordination among the component areas in the community is critical as it provides a way to leverage resources, reduce duplication of efforts and programs, and fill in the gaps to address the priorities in a school or district. One of the best strategies for establishing coordination is to expand an existing wellness committee or convene a new team with representation of as many of the Wisp components as possible. This work is not meant to be on the shoulders of one teacher, one nurse, one department, or one professional within the school or district. It is a whole school approach with every adult and every student playing a role. Lastly, The outside yellow ring of the model represents the community. Remember, schools are part of a community and support from that community is essential. Schools will be more effective and accomplish more when there are community collaborations connected to each of the components. Partnerships with local health departments, hospitals, businesses, out-of-school time programs, social service agencies, and a variety of other entities in the community can help schools accomplish their goals. Building these relationships takes time, but it is well worth it in the long run.
So how does the Wisp model work? There's no single answer to this question. While there are promising practices to help facilitate Wisp adoption, there is no prescribed approach to using it. Implementation of the model can vary depending on district and school leadership, policy, culture, school and community needs and assets, staff availability, time, resources, family engagement, and community involvement. The Wisp model may look different in each school depending upon the unique needs of the students, school staff, and community priorities. But that's the beauty of the model. It's a framework that can be adapted to meet the local needs of districts, schools, and communities. Whether they know it or not, most schools and districts are already implementing the Wisp model in some way. Schools and districts have existing policies, practices, funding sources, and accountability measures from the federal, state, district, and/or school level that address barriers to learning, including student health and healthy school environments. The Wisp model provides support and a collaborative framework to meet and exceed these policies and practices. Let's talk briefly about some of these existing policies and how they relate to health and wellness in schools. At the federal level, the Every Student Succeeds Act, or ESSA, of 2015 provides several opportunities to integrate health into education policies and practices through state accountability systems, state report cards, and school improvement plans, especially in the charge to provide a well-rounded education. State-level policies related to the Wisp model are governed by various legislated statutes, state agency rules and regulations, State Board of Education policies and/or State Board of Health or nursing regulations. One example in Oregon is that Oregon schools will be required to implement required physical education minutes starting in the 2019-20 school year for grades K through 5, 6, and in 2020 for grades 6 through 8. The Wisp model can be used to guide development of a district and school's mission, vision, and strategic plan to foster whole child initiatives and supports. School leaders may consider opportunities to incorporate whole child language and priorities into school-level policies and practices, including school improvement planning and wellness policies based on the needs of students and staff.
Everyone has a role to play in implementing the Wisp model. For example, school board members can support implementation and funding for evidence-based policies, processes, and practices that care for the whole child. Superintendents can create a district mission and vision and identify accountability metrics that align with the Wisp model. Principals can champion the Wisp model by prioritizing its implementation, allocating time for and providing professional development for school staff, and communicating its importance. School staff can participate in the planning process and implementation of the Wisp model. Parents or family members can serve on the school or district Wisp team. Students can serve as Wisp team members and advocate for the needs of their peers. Community members can share expertise and resources to complement and support what schools are doing. In addition to these stakeholders, there are district and school staff who directly represent the various components, such as health and physical education, teachers, nutrition service managers and staff, school nurses, school-based health center staff, school counselors and psychologists, facilities staff, and employee benefits managers, to name a few. They may take the lead on implementing practices within their component and coordinating with others. I have mentioned the Wisp team a couple of times. Many districts and schools have existing committees that address student and staff health, such as school health advisory committees. They may also have school improvement planning teams or parent-teacher organizations. These groups can be expanded or adapted so that team members reflect the 10 components of the Wisp model.
So where do we start? The Whole School, Whole Community, Whole Child, a guide to implementation, gives step-by-step guidance for district and school staff seeking to adopt and implement the model. Let's take a look at the steps to adopting the Wisp model. The steps are: 1. Focus on administrative buy-in and support. 2. Identify a Wisp coordinator and Wisp team leaders. 3. Assemble a district and school team. 4. Assess and plan Wisp efforts. 5. Implement the plan. And finally, 6. Reflect and celebrate. While the steps are intended to be implemented chronologically, the process is not always linear. Schools and districts can enter the step-by-step process at any point and revisit steps as needed. The guide includes guidance, checklists, and tips for each step, as well as worksheets to help teams document and create a written history of their progress. Let's take a look at some examples of how this model can work in practice.
In the implementation guide, each step includes tips to help schools and districts in their Wisp planning and implementation efforts. Each step includes the following sections. Ideas for student engagement focuses on how students at all grade levels can be involved with a school or a district's Wisp efforts. Signs of progress shows how a coordinator or team leader will know they are making progress and can move to the next step. The sections called A School Level Team Leader Can highlights the actions or responsibilities a school level team leader can take on. A Wisp coordinator can focuses on specific actions and responsibilities for the Wisp coordinator. At the district level, explains what Wisp efforts might look like at the district level. Step logs help document progress and decisions and create a written history for teams. The logs also serve as prompts to assist teams in moving forward with tools such as customizable list of team member responsibilities, a place to capture a team's decision-making process, and possible questions to ask team members during an end-of-year debrief session.
What does the model look like when it's put into practice? Remember, there's no one way to implement the model. Schools and districts can do what works for their situation. Many districts start by addressing a few components of the Wisp model and then expand over time to include more components. For our 1801 CDC grantees, this means focusing first on the 3 components of the model: nutrition, physical education and physical activity, and health services for the management of chronic conditions. In this example, we will focus on nutrition. Our Main Street Elementary formed a school health team with a staff member representing each of the 10 components of the Wisp model. The principal was also a member of the team. The team started by completing the CDC's School Health Index, or SHE. The SHE is a set of questions that schools answer to get a quick snapshot assessment for each component of the Wisp model. Based on scientific guidance, the School Health Index includes the policies and practices most likely to be effective in reducing youth health risk behaviors and supporting healthy behaviors. The team found that many policies and practices were already being implemented in the school, but there were some improvements to make. The team wanted to address nutrition as a way to improve student health, behavior, and academic achievement. They reviewed research showing that better nutrition, particularly eating a healthy breakfast, enhances cognitive performance, including attention, memory, and problem solving, increases attendance rates, reduces visits to the health office, reduces absenteeism, and improves psychosocial function and mood. Based on this information, the team identified 3 priority actions for their current school year. Number 1, the nutrition services manager and staff would implement a school breakfast program. 2, teachers and staff would serve as healthy role models for students by consuming healthier foods and drinks in front of students. To coordinate with the new breakfast program, the staff would focus on modeling these behaviors during breakfast. The third priority action, the principal, along with several teachers, would include a healthy eating section with nutrition information in the monthly e-newsletter sent to families. The first issues of the e-newsletter would include promotion of the new breakfast program and the importance of breakfast for student health and learning outcomes. As you can see in this example, policies and practices from several components of the Wisp model, nutrition, environment, and services, employee wellness, and family engagement, were engaged and implemented. Over the course of several months, data collected by the school health team showed improved healthy eating, decreased visits to the health office, increased attendance, and improved cognitive performance in class as a result of their efforts. Coordination among these components built the foundation for the team to address other issues. Over time, the team prioritized other policies and practices. For example, the school health team began talking to the out-of-school time program coordinators about the school's effort to improve nutrition. The group began to brainstorm how these programs could implement some of the same practices, such as providing snacks that meet the USDA Smart Snack Guidelines. Next, you'll hear about how the Wisp model has been used here in Oregon. First, let's hear from Alana Emlin from the Multnomah Educational Service District.
Thanks, Suzanne. I'm Ilana Emlin with the School and Employee Wellness at Multnomah Education Service District, or MESD. MESD serves the 8 school districts in Multnomah County, which together have an enrolled student population of about 100,000 students in the Portland area. We provide a variety of services to public school districts, including school nurses, outdoor school, professional development, and technology services, like Synergy, for example, which tracks grades and attendance and other things. We also provide instruction for students receiving care at local hospitals and youth in detention and correction facilities. MESD convenes role-alike groups from the component districts to advise the services that are offered in 2 districts, including a superintendent council, student services council, and curriculum council. MESD also operates schools for students who need support building social, emotional, and life skills. We serve 698 students in our own schools and programs, not including outdoor school. One tool that has been useful to us in looking at school wellness is this compilation of Oregon rules and policies, broken out by Wisp component. Basically, we took all of the Oregon rules and policies for school districts and crosswalked them to each of the 10 Wisp components. It makes it clear that this is not a brand new model to implement, but actually something that districts are already doing and where we are all making progress. With our component districts, we've been able to go through the Wisp-related rules and policies for the 10 components and share where we are doing work and where we need more information, collaboration, or resources. For example, this process led us to having a one-day training for districts to learn how to implement the new health and physical education standards. And the format of that training prompted us to provide similar professional development for counselors with Oregon's Comprehensive School Counseling Program. We also convened a group around the local wellness policy, which supports WSC and is most strongly linked to physical education and physical activity, nutrition, environment, and services, and employee wellness. Anyone connected with schools can find where they fit in the 10 components and also in the 5 elements at the center of the WSC model. The model can be used to make sure that all of the components are represented during discussions about school wellness. It can be a lens to look at issues like trauma and chronic absenteeism. One example of how we have used WSC is by connecting 2 components. We knew that the health rooms, where our nurses and school health assistants handle student health needs work, don't always have food. If a student comes in with vague symptoms and the adult in the health room determines that the student would feel better if they could eat something, then there needs to be food. Rather than having each nurse or school health assistant talk with each individual cafeteria director, we convened the nutrition directors and school health services to figure out a plan that would work for our region. This is putting WSC into action. We are always trying to identify more opportunities to make WSC useful to MESD and to our component districts. Now I will hand it over to Beth Madison, principal at Robert Gray Middle School.
Thanks, Alana. As Alana said, my name is Beth Madison, and I'm the principal of Robert Gray Middle School within the Portland Public School District. Robert Gray Middle School utilizes the WSC framework to address nutrition and physical activity to impact overweight and obesity, and in turn, academic indicators such as absenteeism. Focusing on a holistic approach, Robert Gray provides access to activities that promote wellness, not just physical wellness, but academic and social emotional. Many schools see mass absences due to illness in the winter flu season, but Robert Gray students and staff enjoy a high level of wellness. The district wellness policy includes several best practices that promote and support nutrition and physical activity. The district has a school health coordinator and wellness committee charged with making policy recommendations to the school board and monitoring policy implementation progress in each school. As you can see, multiple components of the WSC model are reflected in these efforts. Fuel Up to Play 60 is an initiative between the NFL and state dairy and nutrition councils. By focusing on nutrition and fitness, Fuel Up provides access to educational activities and events. Robert Gray reached touchdown status for the 5th year in a row. Fuel Up awards grants of up to $4,000 to schools to implement wellness activities. The school has purchased brain boost supplies, carts and supplies for making smoothies, recess equipment, and many other things. Teachers give students brain boosts, which are active and student-led. Efforts to improve nutrition include health classes, Fuel Up to Play 60 taste tests and smoothie cart, and daily access to fresh and prepared fruits and vegetables. Students are encouraged to bust a move all day long, including showing their dance moves. Robert Gray is a small school that's making big changes to impact student learning and health outcomes. Located in urban Portland, Oregon, fitness and wellness are central to their mission and vital for improving outcomes for students and staff. By partnering with Sun Community School, students and families have access to daytime clubs, before and after school classes, ski clubs, sports, recess activities, competitions, and activities that help build social emotional intelligence. As a result of these efforts, students are requesting fresh produce and eating more fruits and vegetables at home and at school. Students have shown an increased willingness to try new food items in the cafeteria and are enthusiastic about the locally sourced food that gets served. Through the school breakfast program, school nurses report a decrease in health room visits, meaning students are in class and learning rather than in the nurse's office. At the same time, teachers report that students have greater attention and focus in the classroom. Classroom brain boosts help students get moving, stay engaged, and have fun. The district recognizes the value of the Wisp model and is working to sustain their efforts to impact the health and learning outcomes of their students.
Thank you, Beth and Alana, for sharing the ways that you've utilized the Wisp model. Now that you know more about the Wisp model and have seen some examples of how it can be used, we have a call to action for you. How can you see your district or school utilizing the model? What are the next steps that you'll take to actualize using this model? Some examples might include asking parents, families, and students to advocate for and participate in health and wellness improvements in your districts and schools. Asking district and school leaders and administrators to focus resources on the implementation of policies, processes, and practices to improve student health and wellness and support the whole child. Could also ask community partners to partner with you to support whole child efforts within your districts and schools. Whatever your next steps are, we want you to know that there are many resources to help you take them. Please also know that you can contact any of us to ask more detailed questions about your specific situation. We know that schools and districts are at different starting points, and that's okay. Some already have many of these steps accomplished, and some are just starting. We want you to know that there are resources available on the Oregon Department of Education website. Listed on this slide, you will find information about Oregon Healthy Schools, physical education, school nursing, nutrition services, as well as websites on chronic absenteeism and sexual health.
Additional resources that support implementation of the Wisp model are listed here. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the National Association of Chronic Disease Directors and the Oregon Health Authority Public Health Division. These are great resources.
So now you may have a few questions. We're going to put our call on hold, and please use the chat box feature to submit your questions. Okay, it looks like the first few questions have come in. Will this webinar be available for later viewing? And the answer to that is yes. It will be posted on the School Nutrition Programs, Child Nutrition Programs training page under the School Wellness section. And also, we had some technical difficulties with the video earlier, so we will post with that a link to the website where you can find that information. And that's on the NACDD website, located at chronicdisease.org. Another question that we have is, what about administrative buy-in? Are there any ideas that could help us?
That is a question.
This is Beth, and I have some thoughts about that.
Excellent.
You know, there are many different models out there, but the Wisp model is the one that really pulls together all of the critical parts in a way that makes sense. There's nothing that gets buy-in better than when things simply make sense and are pared down to models that work.
Excellent point. Anything further, Elena?
Yes, well, just to add to that, and Beth is exactly right. I think having administrative buy-in is really important, and finding champions at all levels, you know, teachers, nurses, facility staff, principals, superintendents, everyone, you know, if you can identify your champion, that is a real big help. And what I've found is that peer-to-peer communication works really well. For example, having a physical education teacher talk about the Wisp model with other physical education teachers is really effective. having a superintendent, even an out-of-state superintendent, talk with other superintendents has also proven to be really engaging. So you may need to look inside or even outside your district, or maybe even outside Oregon, to find the right person, but the more you can cultivate champions, the better off it will go.
Thank you.
The other thing I'll just add is that please feel free to contact Jennifer Young or Suzanne Hitty at ODE because we'll be working with districts over the next 5 years with some grantees, and we may have examples to share with you. So please get in contact with us as well.
And then the last question that we have here is, do you have to take on the whole Wisp model all at once?
And the answer to that is absolutely not. You do not have to take it on all at once. As we said earlier in the webinar, we really want districts and schools to find a spot that makes sense to them. Maybe they're already starting some efforts in one of the components. So start there. Do what works for your district or school at the time that you start. And remember that you're already doing a lot of this work already. So expanding it at your own pace is what we'd like to see happen.
All right, that looks like all of our questions for now. So we'll move on with our presentation.
As you can see, the whole school, whole community, whole child model provides a framework for ensuring that each child in each school, in each of our communities can be healthy, safe, engaged, supported, and challenged. That's what a whole child approach to learning, teaching, and community engagement is really about. It's more than achievement or academics. The whole child approach views the collaboration between learning and health as fundamental. We hope that after participating in this webinar that you have a better understanding of the Wisp model and how your district, your school, yourself, or your organization can play an important role in making Oregon schools healthy. Thank you for participating in this webinar, and if you would like to contact any of us, our emails are listed here. We also want you to know that you're part of a larger effort here in Oregon. Oregon Healthy Schools team contact information is listed here. Jennifer Young is the grant coordinator and nutrition specialist. Suzanne Hitty is the health and physical education specialist. And Jamie Smith is the state nurse coordinator with the Oregon Health Authority Public Health Division. Stay tuned for our next webinars as we explore how to establish a strong School Health Advisory Council, SHAC, or Wellness Committee, and dive into the School Health Index, the SHE, which can give you a snapshot assessment within each component of the Wisp model and can be used for action planning and evaluation. We will also continue to explore each component of the Wisp model and provide you with more resources in future webinars. Thank you for all you do to ensure that all of our Oregon schools are healthy, safe, engaging, challenging, and supportive places. We will be sending you a quick evaluation form and hope that you will let us know if you found this webinar helpful.
This presentation was produced under a cooperative agreement with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, and its contents are solely the responsibility of the authors and do not necessarily represent the official views of NACDD or CDC. The Oregon Department of Education is an equal opportunity provider, employer, and lender. Thank you for joining us today on this webinar.